I want to make it clear that even though I have so many gripes about this movie, I'm gonna go see it again because I just want to enjoy it for what it is.
Golly, I'm being exotic, she's is robotic, so we can make billions from building a hobby.
What's up? Today we're diving into the latest MCU installment, Captain America: Brave New World, which hit theaters Thursday night. I think most people who are into it have seen it by now, so I'm not gonna bother with a spoiler-free review. If you're watching this, you've probably already seen it, so here's your spoiler warning. This is kind of a big deal because this is Anthony Mackie's first foray as a lead role in an MCU film, and the first time that we've had a black Captain America on the silver screen, which is kind of a big deal. In a typical Disney move, the movie was released in February. I don't think that was an accident because it is Black History Month. So why not make Black History with a black Captain America? Yeah, I don't think that was necessary at all, but they did it. First, let me tell you what I had in mind that I might be seeing when I went into it. I expected the movie to be kind of somewhere in between Creed and Black Widow, and a little bit of maybe Jason Bourne type stuff in there, right? I felt, espionage, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get that. I wanted the movie to be a better movie than Ant-Man. I didn't get that either. I wanted the movie to be better than the bottom 5 worst Marvel movies. So let's count them off, and we're gonna just do movies. Let's not do TV shows. For me, the bottom 5 worst Marvel movies, and not necessarily in this order, are probably Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Love and Thunder, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man the Wasp, and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Call me a hater if you want. That's my bottom 5. I think that probably just above that is Ant-Man Quantumania. I'm not sure where I've landed on whether or not is in that grouping of films. I feel like this movie has its high points and it has its low points. I've seen some people in their comments online about it so far, pointing out the obvious. Maybe Red Hulk didn't get enough time, which I thought was fine because it was a nice reveal. We knew it was coming though. Also, the VFX weren't always on par. That happens. I saw an article about the reshoots. I'm not really tripping on that. My first impressions with the movie is the issue of the dialogue and the storytelling. I didn't feel like, generally speaking, the dialogue was very compelling. It just was written really bad. This didn't have cheesy dialogue. This had just very disconjointed and jarring dialogue. It almost felt like a bad anime dub. I mean, even Thunderbolt Ross is like, oh, but the cherry blossoms. Oh, but the cherry blossoms. I'm like, yo, y'all are trying too hard to really connect this movie. The movie comes off very explanatory. Lots of explanations for everything. It's like, Oprah, you get an explanation, you get an explanation, you get an explanation. Tiamat in the Atlantic Ocean or wherever it is. How Captain America is able to fight crime without a super serum. Why Thunderbolt Ross had to shave his mustache.
I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look. They said lose the mustache or lose the election.
Why Thunderbolt Ross ran for president. Captain America and why he survived getting an axe to the stomach. All these things that give explanations for it. And I felt like it was just so overly done. Definitely not something I feel like the audience needed. I don't think it was necessary. I think they spent way too much time treating the audience like they were dumb. I think there was a more clever way of doing this and they chose not to. And I think that really hurt the film because it comes off really jarring and really distracting in the mix of all the things that are going on with the film. It also feels like they were afraid people were going to pick this movie apart, and so they chose to go about it a way that would kind of make it troll-proof. I think they really just ruined the narrative for me. I haven't seen a movie do that in a long time. To their credit, I've never seen a Marvel movie do that. I've seen the mid-act expose, but I've never seen it where it's been necessarily, hey, we're gonna explain everything all the time. So let's talk about visual imagery, CGI, and all the reshoots. There's a lot of green screen shots. There were some that were done really well, but some were just so bad. I'm not 100% sure that these were last minute reshoots, but I assume they were because they kind of look like they don't fit in the film, kind of done really quickly, like they were rushed. I think it's very clear that the movie suffered from last minute reshoots. Some of them stood out more so than others, but there were some that were just absolutely so horrendous. It looked like they were a part of maybe an online campaign for advertising, maybe. Red Hulk looked amazing. I think they did really great with a lot of the action sequences. They took some liberties that I just kind of felt were, I think you're trying to create a meme moment. Specifically when Sam Wilson is riding a missile like a surfboard. Yeah, like a surfboard. I don't think it was necessary. It wasn't even cool, you know? I mean, maybe some like 10-year-old kid saw that and thought it was cool. I don't think that 10-year-old kids think that's cool anymore. The plot. I'm really ragging on this movie. But let's think about this. The Captain America movies have largely had a significant role in having to do with Bucky. First Avenger loses Bucky, Winter Soldier reintroduces Bucky, Civil War saves Bucky. So Cap spends a big majority of his time from Winter Soldier to Civil War trying to save and clear his friend's name. What made them go with this plot point for Brave New World? That's literally the opposite of a Brave New World. Sam trying to clear the name of Isaiah Bradley is very much in line with Cap trying to clear Bucky's name. Too much of the same thing. The entire plot could have been something different. Like, I mean, sure, Isaiah Bradley had, you know, him being in it was cool. You know, there was a point in the movie where they say, you know, you're gonna like do all of this for a personal vendetta. And I'm like, was that even necessary to be said? Because Captain America do everything for a personal vendetta, doesn't he? Before I get into character performances, why don't you leave a comment below about who you thought stood out as an actor in Captain America Brave New World. And while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe. So character performances. I think Anthony Mackie did a good job. I think he did a really good job. I don't think he killed it. But I mean, like, Sam just does not, as a character, have enough oomph behind him, to really be captivated by his character. It's just how Sam is written.
Wait for it.
Even in the moments that I'm supposed to relate with Sam, it feels disconjointed and like maybe I don't relate to it. Like Thunderbolt Ross calls him son, and it's like son in such a southern poignant, like belittling, submissive like way. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see Anthony Mackie respond to that. And it was so pouty. That's not real. I felt like that was such a missed opportunity and a missed moment to really like bring that in, right? You're gonna go the length as a director, especially as a Black director, to point that out to the audience, then it really needs the stick. And it just felt like it was just grazed over, like, oh, he called me son. What does he mean, son? I mean, like, Black Panther would never. And I think that's why I don't think that Anthony Mackie really, like, nailed it home. It really didn't do it for me. However, on the flip side, I think that Danny Ramirez killed Joaquin Torres. I felt like Joaquin Torres was like a spiteful Falcon and better buddy sidekick than Sam was to Steve. Sam was Steve's wingman. Joaquin Torres was Sam's like little bro. And I was sold on it. I believed it. Harrison Ford, on the other hand, was horrible. I cannot imagine any director watching these performances and saying like, yup, that's it. He nailed it home. We didn't get nearly the level of Harrison Ford performance that we're used to. It just was a very uncharismatic, underwhelming performance. Except for maybe like a moment here and there were points where I felt like, oh, that was a nice delivery, right? But it was like far and few between. Everything else was very like, not really. I felt like William Hurt did so much better of a job really selling me who Thunderbolt Ross was. Shira Haas as Ruth Bat-Seraph, aka Saber. I don't even know why she was there. It felt like they were trying to pull off like Black Widow, but not Black Widow. I really don't understand her purpose there. Felt like she was just plugged in just to be plugged in. It really felt like they were gonna put her in as Saber, and then they just like kind of walked it back, was like, yo, let's not do it. I mean, like, yeah, we'll mention that she's from Israel for no reason, but she was a Red Room widow. Like, why? You know, why? I don't even think it was necessary to mention any of that. She could have just been dope from Israel. They could have acquired her because of some stuff she did in Israel that had a big impact on like saving lives or protecting people. And I don't typically rant about Marvel movies and what they didn't do, right? I normally take it as what they did, but it was just unnecessary. And it felt like a think tank idea. Tim Blake Nelson as the leader was not good. I get it, he was the original actor that played him in the Hulk movie, but it was like, so? His makeup was bad. I didn't really connect with his storyline. I can get why he would be upset, but it just wasn't sinister and intelligent enough, to be honest with you. It was kind of like villain of the week kind of feels, right? I'm really bagging on this movie. I will say that the cameos from Sebastian Stan and Liv Tyler, those were welcomed. I really appreciate those. That was cool. The action scene sequences were amazing, and that's really what kept me into this movie because they were so good, especially the fight between Sam and Red Hulk. Seeing Falcon and Captain America fight against 4 next-gen fighter aircraft, that was great. In closing, overall, I felt like it kind of lacked bite. It didn't grasp me, but it was a fun ride and a fun watch. If you go and you just turn your brain off and you just have a good time with the movie and just take it for what it is, then you're gonna enjoy it. I land somewhere on the 6.0, 6.5 range when it comes to Captain America Brave New World. Very disappointing because I wanted it to be more. I'm not angry at what we got. I just felt like it was a missed opportunity and that they could have done some things better. Great action sequences, not a great script, and visuals for the most part were awesome. Great spectacular moments in the movie. If you think you're going to wait to see this movie until it comes on Disney Plus, don't. Go see it in the theaters because I saw a post and I cannot agree more. The fight with Red Hulk is worth the price of admission. It was that good. But what did you think? Did you enjoy Captain America Brave New World? What were the key things that really stood out to you? Let's discuss it in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe for more nerdy content here on Revenge of the Nerd.